President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto, flew to Bungoma today in what the State House has confirmed as 3 days political tour there. And it's supposed to culminate on Saturday when the Madaraka Day celebration will be done there. Probably, I think it's also going to be on Sunday with a church service in Bungoma. And keep it here in the bold, because that tour is coming at a very critical time where the ruling party is very fragile. We will be following every bit of the president's visit in Bungoma. But then, why is Ruto flying to Bungoma now? Just the first day engagement is going to give us a hint, a breakdown on what really the intelligence is telling the president about his popularity in the country. Because I can see an attempt by State House to drag a narrative. There are all indications that William Ruto might be heading back to the campaign trail. And that is after nearly 2 months absence, trying to keep off the rallies. I've seen the Facebook page, the Facebook handlers, trying to start these campaign rallies. The first reason, there are 2 objectives of the president's visit in Bungoma, those 3 days visit. The first objective is to try to charge the masses to attend the Saturday event, the Madaraka Day celebration. And if you just want to know, I want you to listen to this video.
Tumesema ya kwamba ile national function, ile sherehe ya kitaifa uanga inafanyika Nyayo Stadium huko Nairobi. Sio Nyayo Stadium peke yake ambaye ni Kenya. Tumesema hiyo national function, hiyo sherehe ya kitaifa itoke Nyayo Stadium ikuje hapa Bungoma. Sasa watu wote wa Kenya, Jumamosi tutakuwa hapa, inaitwa nini ile stadium? Masinde Muliro. Tutakuwa hapa Masinde Muliro kwa stadium hapa. Mutakuja ama nyinyi mko na mpango gani? Mutakuja? Ati? Hata nyinyi mko na maneno. Sasa mimi nimetoa function kutoka Nyayo Stadium. Nimepambana nayo, imefika hapa Masinde Muliro. Sasa badala ya nyinyi kujipanga hapa mnaniambia tena ni ati akijiji watu mko. Mutakujeko? Mutakuja Wewe Dan, pangana na hii watu wafike. Huyu mungwana atawapanga. Na senator na hao wengine, si ndio? Lakini tumeleta hiyo function hapa kwa sababu tunataka kuweka Kenya pamoja.
In that video, he's telling them that they are going to have event in Masinde Muliro, and I think William Ruto, is it a mishap? How is it that he's in Bungoma and he's going to attend Madaraka Day and he doesn't even know the name of the stadium? So he has to turn back and start asking people around what is the name of the stadium. I think there is some letdown there. But then that is the reason. He's telling them that these leaders, indirectly, he's ordering these leaders, MPs, MCS and governors to ensure, and the governor, to ensure that people attend. Remember where he was speaking is Awebuye Technical Vocational Training. So majority of those who are there are actually students and some locals. They were all there to attend that event. And someone is telling me there are quite a number of, there is some good mobilization. There is a mobilization that was done there. So he's trying to create the hype. The president is in town. And I can tell you he will try to, better part of Friday, I'm really going to look at his itinerary, his program on Friday. He's trying to soften the ground ahead of Saturday. Why? He will not want a situation where the stadium is deserted. The last event, the last celebration that was done here in Nairobi, it was a big shame. The last holiday was on Jamhuri Day. It was done in Uhuru Gardens. It was a big shame. The same with the Labor Day that was done again in Nairobi. It was a big shame. The turnout was very worrying, and we would also not want to see that happening in Bungoma because the political eyes are actually pointing at him. The second reason, which I think is the big thing, Rigathi William Ruto wants to develop a narrative around Rigathi Gachagua fallout. And that narrative started. That is what was started by the likes of Sudi, the likes of and Sakaja.
Tunataka wale wa kutoka Mombasa wakuje hapa waone kuna Bungoma na ni Kenya na kuna Wakenya na ni watu wazuri. Si ndio? Nyinyi pia mtoke huku, muende Nyeri, muende Eldoret, muende Kwale, mjue kuna Wakenya huko na ni watu wazuri. Ndio tuweze kujenga taifa moja ya Wakenya wote. Tumesema hatutaki siasa tena ya ukabila na kugawanya watu. Tunataka kuunganisha Kenya ikuwe moja. Kwa sababu sisi wote ni ndugu moja wa taifa moja. Mungu hajakosea kutuweka Kenya. Si ndio jameni? Ile kazi kubwa nataka tufanye. Na nawauliza hawa ndugu zangu viongozi kwa heshima kubwa. Tuungane, tuunganishe wa Kenya na tupambane na ile changamoto iko katika taifa letu. Tukisimama pamoja, Waswahili wanasema umoja ni nguvu. Kutengana, hata huyu jamaa ameelewa, anasema ni udhaifu. Si ndio? Tunaelewana jameni? So tunataka tupangane namna hiyo, na mimi nimefurahi sana kufika hapa, na kwa sababu mimi niko area na nimekuja mpaka na blanketi, mimi nakuja kulala.
So alikuwa ameona mbele, kwa sababu mimi nimekuwa chairman wa budget. Mimi nilikuwa chairman wa budget hapo mbeleni, na mimi naweza kuwaambia ukweli kwamba mambo ya madeni ilikuwa imezidi, ile inaitwa maji imezidi nini? Unga. Lakini His Excellency the President amesema kwamba watoto wetu na watoto wa watoto wetu hawatapata madeni. Yeye atahakikisha kwamba wale watoto ambao watakuwa huko mbele wataishi maisha mazuri. And sometimes it's good to make some sacrifices kama mzazi. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kushukuru Rais kwa ile mikakati ambayo umeshikilia. Kwa hayo mengi machache, mimi nataka kuwaambia in 2022 nilikuwa pande ingine. Lakini 2027 mimi na Dr. William Ruto tutakuwa tumeshikana hapa bega kwa bega. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Hapa Bungoma, Mheshimiwa Rais.
So he wants to take, there is this information you have to go and tell the people. When Ruto fell out with Uhuru Kenyatta, he took a narrative to the people. And this is why we'll also realize this speech has been shared by Kanini Kega, and in that tour is also been accompanied by Kanini Kega. Now, the presence of Kanini Kega first is telling you that this is politics. Kanini Kega doesn't come from Bungoma. And although those leaders who are there, Kanini Kega was given a microphone to talk, and he had to invoke the name of Raila Odinga in it, you will realize that, if you don't mention Raila's name, then you don't get the public jubilation. So at whatever extent, you must try to bring in Raila's name. And the presence of Kanini Kega there is telling you the narrative of, those people saying one man, one shilling, one vote are dishonest. We need to develop the whole country. We need to do this. We need to do that. So that is part of narrative building. And I can tell you, Rigathi Gachagua have given Ruto a reason to go to visit Marsabit, to go to visit the fringe counties and the fringe areas, so that he can take an opportunity to preach about some fake unity. And I'm so intentional about using the word fake unity. You cannot, it's not really morally right that when in a political rally, you can speak about the unity. But when you retreat back and are giving state appointments, then you need to consider those two tribes. When you are giving state appointments, you are looking at who voted for me better than the other person after the merit. But when you go to the street, you're telling people about tribe. I think it's political badness, but the public buys it. Now, if you look at relatively, there are two things you'll understand. Those crowds are relatively low, but State House is urgently trying to look for crowd photos. They're trying to look for crowds. Look at this. These are drone shots of the crowd that was there. And there is crowds at the politics of perception. You need to create a perception that I have the people. So, like during this fallout, for better part of this month, Rigathi Gachagua has been doing his own rallies and was in Mount Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua attracted some crowds, really. You cannot underestimate that. And even something is happening in ODM. Babu Owino is slowly building a wave. And maybe tomorrow we'll look at that trip in Mombasa. And during that Mombasa trip, you can see the way he attracted huge crowds. So one of the reasons why William Ruto is really fishing for crowds is also what you can see, the population is swelling around Babu Owino. No one knows what he's up to, whether he wants to seek presidency, he wants to thrust the national politics and will still retreat or will still want to retreat to Embakasi East. No one really knows. But of course, as people normally say, there is nothing wrong having an ambition. Now, that event, however, was a low key. If you ask me, I can say without fear of contradiction that that event was relatively low. And the reason why that event was relatively low is can still be confirmed by an order, that order that William Ruto is saying that you will organize these leaders so that you are brought to that event. I can say this. He will attend these functions, schools here and there, and then will be mobilizing those students to attend the event in Masinde Muliro Stadium. Why? He wants to attend it, want to get the stadium to swell so that he can say, in the wake of all this, I am with the people. I'm paying attention for the trip. This first rally is outside. I'm really paying attention because there is something I want to see. And what I want to see is how Ruto is going to package the dividends from US, whatever those deals from the US, to Mwananchi, so that Mwananchi can buy it. I'm really waiting for how that is going to be packaged. But then, from his speeches there, telling people to go and bring those young people to the event, it's clear that he's wary of some hostility, that the ground is not good in Bungoma. Why? Because America trip lacks some tangible grassroots touch. In fact, largely, the American trip, what the public is talking about on that trip is not on what the president brought back in the country. What they are talking about is how you spend taxpayers' money on a luxury jet to US. So it lacks the tangible, it lacks some touch, and that's why the president team are really struggling with it. Number two, the Tawe movement has also been causing some significant effect in the Western. And I'm also going to look at how Natembeya, whether he's going to be part of William Ruto's activities in the Western. There's so many things, so I'm going to look at this Bungoma tour. And Natembeya have tried even multiple times to register Tawe as a movement. He's been saying and he's been telling the Mulembe Nation that there is no way you want to cling to Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula while they're in government. They're bragging as the second and the third in command, but there is nothing tangible that it can be shown for the people of Bungoma. So that's also another thing. I think the intelligence team also told him that, look here, in Bungoma, as much as you want to go there, we need to be very strategic. The Tawe movement is also real. Number three, the UDA party crumbling. If there's some UDA loyalists there, they're also not feeling the vibe of the party. And with that, we would also want to try to manage the situation. And lastly, I can also see the issue of this fertilizer scandal. And I think the public buys those things when he says, I'm going to deal with those who are behind fertilizer scandal. Why? You know, Bungoma is an agricultural county. And if there is something that is going to bring a lot of problems, is this. Bungoma is an agricultural county. And that is why Jack Wamboka, Jack Wanami Wamboka, I think, if I'm not wrong, the person who was pushing impeachment of Muturi, is coming from that county. Is it yeah, I think it comes from, is Bumula in Bungoma or Busia? Either, but I think it's Bungoma. So, what is happening there clearly, it should be Busia, not Bungoma, rather. So what's happening there clearly is that it's an agricultural ground, it's an agricultural county, it has been affected, and that is why you hear the president is trying to praise the county on agricultural front and making that with promise that I'm going to deal with the corrupt. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. I was just brushing through this. Remember, keep it here. For the 3 days that you will be there, just like we covered US, we'll be here to ensure that we show you what exactly is happening in Bungoma. And also remind me, I want to read your feedback. What is Babu Owino up to? Is Babu Owino going for presidency? Should he try? What is his potential? Thank you. Hello guys, so as I promised you guys that we will be supporting these families. I'm already at Mukuru Kwayaba, that's what I'm saying the name. And this is the nearest primary school around this place because we do not go for field and because of promotion. When we go there, then maybe things will turn very chaotic. So these are the families. Already night we are waiting for Mzee Luis and Joy. Yeah, so thank you. This is the families we want to support, and I also want to urge this that it doesn't end here. The need is still big. There are also still infants, and you can still get to me. I will still be able to link you up with 1 or 2 families. But even if you have to support more, wengine bado wamebaki wengi sana. Yeah, but we needed also to do our part as the board, and I just want to thank you for having done this. Asante sana, mbarikiwe. Okay. Wengine watatu hata mpige tu. Pige tu. Mzee. Mama tu hapo. Mama hapo.
Okay, habari zenu tena. Jinsi nilisema mimi naitwa Ndege, mkaaji wa Landimame, Kayaba, Mukuru. Kwanza ninachukua hii fursa kusema asante sana kwa wenye wamekuja kutusaidia. Kwa hivi sasa nyumba tulishapata, ni ile hela ya kulipa hiyo nyumba ndio hatukuwa nayo. Lakini kwa uwezo wa Mwenyezi Mungu, Mungu ametenda. Pesa ndio hizi tumepata na tunaenda kulipa hizo nyumba zetu. Hatutalala tena kwa baridi. Naye muendelee na kusaidia watu wengine, isiwe ni sisi peke yetu, sababu watu wameathirika pale wengi bado wanalala kwa hiyo kiwanja mahali tulikuwa tunalala. Tunashukuru sana, Mungu awabariki.
Before tuende kwa nyingine, I want to add more again. There are people and guys, there are people that normally they are not seen in the picture. Anne is one person that has been coordinating this. She's behind this. And I just want us atatuambia tu one word and thank you very much. Asante sana for having been behind this, for working in the community. You are a warrior, and I know that you are amongst people that normally are not celebrated, but we thank God that everything. We also need to celebrate Anne, because Anne is also another person behind the concession.
Thank you. I am Anne Kanini, a community representative in Nyayo location. Kazi yangu ni kusaidia watu wale ambao wanapata shida tofauti, hasa katika huu mkasa wa floods. Katika ile hali I was able to identify watu ambao wamekosa makazi, na ninashukuru the whole team for coming through kuweza kusaidia hizi jamaa. Ukiangalia hapa George ni mzee ambaye ni mzee sana, na kuna hapa Dani ni mzee sana. Wakikaa nje kwangu ilikuwa inaumiza moyo, kwa sababu nyumba yangu pia ni ndogo, haiwezi watosha. And for the people who have come through to support these people, may God bless you for doing something which is good, ambayo itazuia wasipate magonjwa. Kukaa kwa baridi kunaleta magonjwa, na hata ile insecurity, they can be harmed. Kwa hivyo God bless you and continue doing the good work. Personally, mimi nimejitolea kuwasaidia watu katika hili eneo la Mukuru kwa Tanyayo. Asanteni kwa kutushika mkono.
And I want us to pray, but before we pray, I just want to put a point to you guys. This need is still there, and I was just talking with Anne behind the scenes. She was telling me that quite a number that are still there. So even in your own individual capacity, I closed the fundraiser yesterday, and I finished this program here, but it's not ending because the solution is not coming to an end. There are still other things.
Kasema asante, kasema asante, kasema asante, ewe Mungu wangu. Baba, katika jina la Yesu Kristo tunasema ni asante kwa sababu ya wema wako na fadhili zako ambazo hudumu milele na milele. Hakika Bwana, katika hili janga umetuletea watu ambao ni roho safi, ambao wamesaidia Baba hawa watu wetu ambao kuanzia hii dakika wanaenda kulipa nyumba na kupata hata kupumzika katika nyumba zao. Uinuliwe na uimidiwe. Kwa wale wote waliochanga, Bwana wa majeshi, tutamka neno la baraka, ukawabariki maradufu katika jina la Yesu Kristo mwana wa Mungu. Ni kwa ajili ya Kelvin, ni kwa ajili ya Brian na timu yao yote Baba, ukapate na kuwabariki. Asante kwa ajili ya hii timu wanapotoka hapa na kuanza maisha mapya katika maeneo mapya. Mungu utaweza kuwalinda na kuwaongoza. Asante ni kwa ajili yangu Baba, ninapoenda kufanya hii kazi nzuri katika hii community, neema yako ikanitoshe. Tunakushukuru kwa ajili ya mwalimu Simon, amekuwa ni baraka kwa wenyeji wa mtaa Bwana wa majeshi, naye ukambariki katika kiwango kingine, ukafungua milango ya baraka kwa ajili yake. Tunapoachana ukatulinde, inuliwe mfalme, na ni katika jina la Yesu tunaomba na kuamini. Amen.